Well, the Chiefs. Oh my goodness. After almost losing to the Carolina Panthers, there's a lot of room for concern after this week.
Let's talk football.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast, where sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we are talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs almost losing to the Carolina Panthers after having a last second field goal to give them the win in a final score of 30-27. But this is only the eighth win that they have had when they have led by only 7 points or less. But the question is, are the Chiefs' close wins concerning? Now, I'm going to begin into that here in just a second. But before we get started, if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Chiefs. So, the Kansas City Chiefs. I do think there's a little room for concern because I'm not putting a lot of concern, only a smidge bit. Maybe a little bit more than that. But because of a couple of reasons. Number one, you almost lost to the Carolina Panthers. One of the worst defensive teams and offensive teams in the National Football League. And on top of it, your defense looks so bad that they made Bryce Young look like a top 5 quarterback, for crying out loud. You had guys like Chubba Hubbard absolutely bulldozing over Chris Jones for a touchdown, and also along with Jonathan Brooks. I mean, it was so bad that they looked garbage. They had the defense allowed Carolina to 334 total yards. This is only the second game that they have given up 300 yards or more since the Buffalo Bills game last week. But there is a lot of concern for the Kansas City Chiefs because they looked terrible. They made the Carolina Panthers look good. That's how bad they are. And let me go over some things on their offensive line. I pulled up the stats. I'm going to show it up on the screen. So, in total of the Chiefs' offensive line, they have allowed 27 sacks, and the offensive penalties, they have had 22 holding penalties and 7 false starts. This offensive line is trash right now. And they made the defense of the Carolina Panthers look good. That's how bad their offensive line is. They allowed 5 sacks in this past game against Carolina. And if you almost lose to the Carolina Panthers, there is a lot, and I mean a lot of concern after this week. Because if we look at the next 6 games, they go against the Raiders this upcoming week on Black Friday, which that one could be very interesting. Then they also got to face the Los Angeles Chargers at home that following week. Then go on the road to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Then at home against the Houston Texans. On the road for the last 2 games against the Steelers. And then finish it off with the Denver Broncos. There's a lot of concern right now. And if I'm looking at this right, the standings, it's a battle for the number 1 seed right now. Because if we look at the top 4 teams, it is the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Houston Texans that are currently leading their respective divisions. There is a lot of concern because let's say that the Chiefs lose 2 to 3 of the next few games, and then the Bills win out. The Bills will have the number 1 seed of the AFC. And we've seen Kansas City win it. We've seen Kansas City have multiple drops last year and still win the Super Bowl. I don't think there's a way that they're going to make a Super Bowl this year because they lost to the Buffalo Bills. And of course, they've owned them in the postseason. But I think if we look at the Chiefs right now, other opponent teams that are looking at this team are saying right now, we have a shot to actually beat the Chiefs. And even the 49ers had a chance, and they looked so terrible against Kansas City. But anyways, if we look at the teams that could possibly threaten the Chiefs, it is the Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, and possibly the Texans if they can get their O line fixed. But we look at the NFC, the only two teams that are right now a threat to the Kansas City Chiefs are the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's it. I'm gonna say this right now. If the Chiefs were to face the Lions today, I would say the Lions are gonna blow them out. That's how bad they've looked. And they have looked so bad that they've won 8 games within one score. If we look at those games, they almost lost to the Ravens, which was a toe tap away from being a good, which Isaiah Likely's toe was too big. Then you have the game against Cincinnati. You won by 1 point. Then you have the game against the Atlanta Falcons. Almost lost that one. Then you also have the Chargers. You almost lost to them. Then also along with the Raiders, you lost by a touch. You beat them by a touchdown. Buccaneers, you beat them by a touchdown in overtime. Then the Broncos game, you would have lost that game if that field goal wasn't blocked. And then you lost to the Buffalo Bills, and then almost lose to the Carolina Panthers. That is how embarrassing that this team has looked. And if I'm saying it right now, the Bills might actually beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's how bad they're looking. And the Chiefs, they need to fix things up fast, or else they might possibly. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but they might be one and done. That's how bad they're looking. Now, I'm not expecting it because it is Patrick Mahomes and it is the Kansas City Chiefs, but just the way that they have been looking, they anybody can knock them off right now. Anybody, even the Texans. But we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of things that the Chiefs need to fix before the playoffs. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you guys think the Chiefs' close wins are concerning? Let me know why or why not down in the comment section below. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.